Hey folks, Brandon here with IGN to walk you through the brand new gear system in our IGN first game of the month, Middle-earth: Shadow of War. As we saw in Monolith's announcement walkthrough, the RPG systems in Shadow of War have been expanded enormously, and that includes not only the armor and weapons that Talion and Celebrimbor use, but the rarity, variety, and gem sockets that can augment the Ranger and his Wraith companion this time around. So let's talk about the gear you'll find and how you'll make the most of it in Middle-earth: Shadow of War. Let's start off simple. Here we see Talion wearing his basic ranger armor and looking very serious in front of the fortress of Saragost. We've given him a few pieces of gear that he's ready to equip, so let's head into the menu and swap out his equipment. In the inventory menu, we see a few things. First, you see the visual look of everything Talion is wearing over here on the right. This is a true reflection of his gear, which changes with every piece of armor. Next, we see just how many interchangeable pieces of equipment Talion can wear this time around in Shadow of War. Now, from left to right, we see he can find and equip gear in the sword slot, used for melee combat, the dagger slot, used for stealth kills, the range slot, which can be Talion's bow or Celebrimbor's forge hammer this time around. We can see the armor that protects him, the cape he wears, and finally the runes he can inscribe onto the new Ring of Power for loads of added benefits. First, let's equip a new sword. Here we see that Talion is currently wielding his equipped ranger's sword with a melee attack rating of 31. And our other weapon, a Númenórean sword that's also got a melee attack rating of 31. While there's no tangible difference between these two, there are a huge number of weapons to be found. But even though there's no statistical difference in this case, you can see the different visual styles of each weapon. Fortunately, this Númenórean dagger is a statistical upgrade over Talion's ranger dagger. Equipping it nets him an extra 35 stealth attack rating. As we continue to outfit Talion with his basic Númenórean armor, we can see his visual style change. Not only has he gained a slight statistical edge, his armor looks much different than when we started. But let's look at something stronger. In Shadow of War, very few things are given freely. So if we want epic armor, we're gonna have to earn it. Let's find a minion of Sauron that might hold something of better value. This is Masai, the Glutton. He's a war chief of the Fortress of Saragost, and defeating him might get us something worth using. Looking over his strengths and weaknesses, it's pretty clear what we've got to do to take him down. Masai is flammable, meaning he's vulnerable to fire, so burning him should help us in our mission to bring him down. But he's no slouch. We can see by his bonuses that he leads a fanatical gang, holds the advanced class rank of commander, and is enraged by frost attacks. Let's target him and go on the hunt. Now we found our target. He's somewhere in this camp. We just have to engage him, remember his vulnerability to fire, and hope he drops something we can use. Jumping forward in time, we've lost our element of surprise, but Masai, the Glutton, is here and his gang of fanatics is on the defensive. Now I don't want to spoil the fight for you, but let's use the power of the Wraith to explode a couple of campfires and jump to the combat. Okay, so we've successfully roasted and defeated Masai. Let's see what defeating an epic Ologhai troll has earned us. It looks like our crispy troll adversary has dropped a Rohirrim dagger. Let's open the inventory menu and equip this powerful new weapon. As we can see, this is an incredibly powerful dagger. It boasts a huge 767 stealth attack rating, but that's not all. At the bottom of the screen, we see it packs a 5% chance to apply burning on a quick throw. That'll come in handy. But the real power behind this blade is the challenge ability it carries. In Shadow of War, some equipment carries benefits that can only be unlocked by completing challenges. In the case of the Rohirrim dagger, we could potentially get an increased 25% stealth damage to enemies that are on fire. But before we can unlock it, we have to complete the challenge. In this case, we need to stealth attack an enemy who is on fire. Sounds fun. Let's give it a shot. So we've got our epic dagger quest set as our objective. We're hiding in a bush, and we need to stealth kill an enemy on fire. Fortunately, these explosive barrels of grog should do the trick. Now that we've killed this orc and completed our challenge, let's try it out. Our dagger gives us a damage boost to enemies on fire, and as you can see here, we're able to make short work of this powerful Ologhai enemy thanks to our new dagger trait. So, now we've got a fully unlocked epic Rohirrim dagger, but that's not the end of our upgrade path. Let's find a gem to socket into this dagger. Jumping forward, we found this icy Graug. In Shadow of War, powerful enemies and creatures like the Graug drop gems to socket into our equipment. Dominating and then automatically dispatching this creature makes quick work of it, so we can get our socketable stone. Now this Graug has dropped a red gem. Let's pick it up. But before we can use it, we have to go into our inventory screen to unlock the socket in our epic dagger using the currency we've collected so far. Now let's slot our gem. We see that we've picked up a warrior gem, which grants 10% increased damage to the weapon it's slotted in. There are more upgrades available for each kind of gem, but let's focus on more powerful equipment right now. Again, jumping ahead in time, we're setting our sights on an even stronger enemy. This time, we're hunting a legendary orc, one that might have a piece of legendary equipment the best we can find at this point in our journey. This is Ronk, the Gravewalker. He's an assassin of the Mystic Clan of Orcs, and from the looks of it, he's pretty good with a crossbow. We'll have to be careful. We can see from his strengths and weaknesses that he's vulnerable to fire, but he's also got an impressive amount of strengths, like reduced poison damage, and enraging when on the receiving end of a mortal wound. Now let's find him. Alright, so we've mortally wounded Ronk, and in the process enraged him. But I don't want to spoil the fight, so let's jump forward to the end. Now we've finally taken down Ronk, and in the process earned ourselves a legendary rune. Runes act like equipment, but are placed on Talion's Ring of Power. This legendary arcane rune grants us additional health recovery when an enemy is dazed, and focus recovery for every kill. In addition, by completing the challenge unlock, we get the special ability of the legendary rune. And finally, since this rune is part of a set, if we eventually equip more pieces of the set, we unlock the set bonus. In this case, our dominated grunts will take 50% less damage if we find and equip 2 pieces of this set, and they'll gain cursed weapons if we find and equip 4 pieces of this set. Let's look at Talion with a full set equipped. Here we see him using the Bright Lord's equipment set. With the full outfit, we can see this set benefits Celebrimbor's Wraith powers and Elf Shot abilities. This further demonstrates how not only the skills you select, but the armor you find and wear can help you customize your style of play in Shadow of War. Lastly, let's see how our new legendary armor and the increase to the Elven Wrath ability it gives us benefits Talion. I really hope you enjoyed this brief overlook into not only the different gear you can find, but how you find it, and how it makes Talion a one-man, one-wraith, orc-killing machine in Shadow of War. We've got much more Middle-earth Shadow of War to show and tell, so be sure to check out our entire hub of IGN First coverage at go.ign.com/Shadow of War. And for all things shadowy, warlike, and Mordor related, keep it right here on IGN.